The night sky over the Ural Mountains pulsed with an eerie orange glow. It was 1989. The Cold War was nearing its end, but tensions between the superpowers remained high. A Soviet military unit stationed deep within the remote wilderness scanned the horizon. They had received reports of unusual activity, strange lights, unexplained phenomena. What they were about to witness, however, defied all reason. A fiery object trailing smoke plummeted through the atmosphere. It crashed in a clearing several kilometers from the outpost, sending shockwaves through the forest. Orders were barked. Soldiers, armed and wary, approached the crash site. The air crackled with anticipation and fear. This was no ordinary aircraft. As they drew closer, the wreckage came into view. Twisted metal, glowing with an unnatural heat, lay scattered amidst the trees. And then they saw it, a pulsing spherical object, seemingly undamaged in the crash, hovering silently above the ground. It emitted a low hum, a sound that vibrated deep within their chests. Fear turned to panic. Was this an enemy weapon, an experimental technology? No one dared speak the word that hung heavy in the air: extraterrestrial. The order to fire rang out. A barrage of bullets ripped through the air, impacting the sphere. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the sphere erupted in a blinding flash of light. The soldiers shielded their eyes, their ears ringing from the deafening explosion. When they could see again, they found themselves facing a horror they could never have imagined. From the heart of the explosion, a new sphere emerged. This one, however, was different. It was not made of metal, but of a swirling, ethereal energy. It pulsed with an eerie blue light, and a low, guttural hum emanated from its core. The soldiers, frozen in terror, watched as the sphere began to expand, engulfing everything in its path. Trees withered and turned to dust upon contact with the sphere's energy field. The ground itself seemed to buckle and groan as if in pain. And then the sphere reached the soldiers. One by one, they were enveloped by the blue light. Their screams were cut short, their bodies seemingly locked in place. When the light finally subsided, an eerie silence descended upon the clearing. Where moments before there had been soldiers, there were now only statues. Statues made not of bronze or stone, but of the soldiers themselves, their bodies frozen in poses of terror, their faces contorted in silent screams. They were as hard as granite, their features locked in a grotesque parody of life. The sphere, its work complete, shrunk and vanished into the night, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable horror. The forest stood silent, the only sound the whisper of wind through the trees. What had happened here? What force could have wrought such a transformation? The answers, hidden deep within the Soviet archives, would remain a secret for years to come. The incident at the Ural Mountains, a chilling testament to the unknown, would become a whispered legend, passed from soldier to soldier, shrouded in fear and disbelief. News of the incident, though heavily suppressed, trickled out of Russia in the chaotic years following the collapse of the Soviet Union. Defectors, former KGB agents, whispered of a classified file hidden deep within the Kremlin's archives, the Ural Mountain Incident. This file, they claimed, contained eyewitness accounts, photographs and even autopsy reports of the petrified soldiers. The world, hungry for information about its Cold War adversary, devoured these stories. Were they true? Could they be true? The images, grainy and unclear, only added to the mystery. Skeptics scoffed, dismissing the stories as Cold War propaganda, designed to sow fear and mistrust. But others, those who had long believed in the possibility of extraterrestrial life, saw in these whispers a confirmation of their beliefs. The CIA, always eager to exploit any crack in the Soviet facade, took notice. They launched their own investigation, dispatching agents to track down the sources of the rumors, to verify the authenticity of the documents. What they uncovered would send shockwaves through the intelligence community. The Ural Mountain incident, far from being a hoax, was all too real, and it had implications far beyond anything they could have imagined. In the dimly lit corridors of the Pentagon, far from the prying eyes of the public and the press, a select group of officials gathered. They had been briefed on the CIA's findings. The evidence, though circumstantial, painted a disturbing picture. Something had happened in those remote Ural Mountains, something that defied conventional explanation. The possibility of extraterrestrial involvement, once dismissed as the stuff of science fiction, was now being seriously considered at the highest levels of government. What did it mean? What were the implications for national security? The questions far outnumbered the answers. The incident raised the very real possibility that humanity was not alone in the universe, and that some of those who shared it possessed technology far beyond our own. The implications were staggering. Was this an isolated incident, or were there others? Were these visitors hostile or benevolent? And most importantly, how could humanity, with its comparatively primitive technology, hope to defend itself against a civilization capable of such power? The Ural Mountain incident had shattered the illusion of human dominance, leaving in its wake a profound sense of vulnerability and uncertainty. The world, however, was not privy to the Pentagon's anxieties. The official narrative, carefully crafted to avoid mass panic, remained one of skepticism and denial. The Ural Mountain incident, when acknowledged at all, was dismissed as a hoax, a product of Cold War paranoia and overactive imaginations. Skeptics, armed with scientific explanations and Occam's razor, offered their own interpretations. The petrified soldiers, they argued, were likely the victims of a rare natural phenomenon, a freak geological event perhaps, or an undiscovered toxic gas. The glowing sphere, they suggested, could be attributed to ball lightning, a rare but well-documented atmospheric phenomenon. The absence of any official confirmation, coupled with the Soviet Union's long history of secrecy and disinformation, lent credence to these explanations. The world, eager for a simple explanation, a way to fit the inexplicable into their existing worldview, readily accepted these narratives. The truth, however, remained hidden, locked away in government archives, known only to a select few. The Ural Mountain incident became a case study in the power of doubt, a testament to humanity's ability to explain away even the most compelling evidence when it challenged their fundamental assumptions. Despite the official denials and skeptical explanations, the question lingered. Could such a thing as petrification, the transformation of living flesh into stone, really be possible? The answer, surprisingly, is a qualified yes. While the traditional understanding of petrification involves a slow process of mineral replacement over millennia, there are documented cases of instantaneous petrification, albeit under very specific and rare circumstances. One such example is the city of Pompeii, where the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD entombed the city in volcanic ash, preserving its inhabitants in their final moments. While not strictly petrification, the process of rapid encasement in volcanic material can create casts of the victims, preserving their form and even their facial expressions with eerie accuracy. Could a similar process, perhaps involving unknown extraterrestrial technologies, be responsible for the fate of the Soviet soldiers? The possibility, while speculative, cannot be entirely dismissed. The Ural Mountain incident, rather than debunking the possibility of extraterrestrial life, may in fact point to a level of technological advancement far beyond our current understanding, a technology capable of manipulating matter and energy at a fundamental level. The idea of extraterrestrial beings visiting Earth and interacting with humanity is not new. From the ancient astronaut theories popularized by Erich von Däniken to the countless myths and legends of gods descending from the heavens, the possibility of extraterrestrial contact has fascinated humankind for centuries. Could the Ural Mountain incident be the latest in a long line of such encounters? Are there echoes of these ancient visitations in the archaeological record, in the unexplained structures and artifacts that defy conventional explanations? The possibility, while intriguing, remains highly speculative. The evidence, often ambiguous and open to interpretation, is insufficient to draw any definitive conclusions. However, the persistence of these stories, across cultures and throughout history, suggests a deep-seated human fascination with the unknown, a longing to believe that we are not alone in the vastness of the cosmos. The Ural Mountain incident, regardless of its veracity, serves as a stark reminder of the limits of our knowledge and the vastness of the mysteries that still remain to be explored. The Ural Mountain incident, if true, adds another layer of complexity to the already perplexing Fermi paradox. Named after physicist Enrico Fermi, the paradox highlights the apparent contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life existing somewhere in the vastness of the universe and the lack of any definitive evidence to support that existence. If civilizations capable of interstellar travel are relatively common, as some theories suggest, then why haven't we encountered them? Why haven't they made contact? The Ural Mountain incident, with its implication of advanced technology and potentially hostile intent, offers a chilling possible answer. Perhaps some encounters are best avoided. Perhaps the vast distances between stars, coupled with the inherent dangers of interstellar travel, make contact a rare and potentially perilous event. Or perhaps, as some theories suggest, advanced civilizations choose to remain hidden, observing us from afar for reasons we can only speculate about. The Ural Mountain incident, rather than providing answers, deepens the mystery, reminding us of how little we truly know about the universe and our place within it. The Ural Mountain incident, shrouded in secrecy and speculation, stands as a stark reminder of the limits of human knowledge. Whether a genuine encounter with extraterrestrial intelligence, a Cold War fabrication, or a misinterpretation of natural phenomena, the incident forces us to confront the vastness of the unknown. It challenges our assumptions about our place in the universe and the nature of reality itself. The possibility of extraterrestrial life, once relegated to the realm of science fiction, takes on a new urgency in light of such incidents. Are we prepared for the implications of such an encounter? Do we have the wisdom and maturity to navigate the complexities of interstellar relations, especially if those relations prove to be anything less than benign? The Ural Mountain incident, regardless of its veracity, serves as a potent reminder that the universe is a vast and mysterious place, filled with wonders and terrors beyond our current comprehension. It compels us to keep searching, to keep asking questions, to keep pushing the boundaries of our understanding. For in the exploration of the unknown lies not only the potential for groundbreaking discoveries, but also the key to our own survival and evolution as a species. Subscribe to Mind Blown Files, exposing the unexplained. Turn on notifications so you never miss a case.